Mr. Speaker, sir, the Honourable Prime Minister, the Honourable Deputy Prime Ministers, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable Cabinet Ministers and Assistant Ministers, Honourable Members of Parliament, and I also acknowledge those who are sitting in the gallery and those watching through the live streams from the comforts of their homes. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise today in this August House to lend my full support for the 2024-2025 National Budget. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to begin by congratulating the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Strategic Planning, National Development and Statistics, Honourable Professor Biman Prasad, and his team for their outstanding work in stabilizing government debt and prudent financial, fiscal and economic management after inheriting a debt of 90% of GDP from the previous government, or the previous administration. Mr. Speaker, sir, we can note here the distinction between someone who is a professor in economics preparing a national budget for a government and someone who does not possess these attributes. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is commendable that Fiji's debt has now fallen to less than 80%, with a target projection to reach 78% of the GDP at the end of July 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, this year's budget addresses is not merely a financial plan, but a roadmap that aligns our aspirations with the global mandate of sustainable development and resilience. Mr. Speaker, sir, through the foresight of the current coalition government under the steadfast, sound and consultative leadership of the Honourable Prime Minister, we can together embark on a journey to ensure that our rural and maritime communities thrive and our disaster management efforts set benchmarks for local and regional excellence. Mr. Speaker, sir, at the global level, the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, represent a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030. As signatories to this ambitious agenda, our commitment resonates across borders, emphasizing our role in achieving sustainable development both locally and as part of the regional and global community. Mr. Speaker, sir, regionally, our priorities are shaped by the unique challenges and opportunities presented by our geographical context. Mr. Speaker, sir, the announced 2024-2025 budget is also a roadmap that aligns our national investment priorities to the collective regional strategic pathways, to one strengthened governance which will in turn improve the economic viability of all government initiatives targeting micro, small and medium enterprises and promote peace and security, promote inclusion and equity by investing in the empowerment of women and the promotion of women's rights and promoting the anticipation of women in leadership, enhance data-informed decision-making through education, research and technology, and revitalize our MSME sector, strengthen tourism, empower Fiji citizens, guide government policy work to better address poverty and the high cost of living. Mr. Speaker, sir, through partnership and collaboration, the coalition government in their wisdom have empowered us with the resources to leverage regional strengths to address common challenges such as climate change, natural disasters, and economic disparities. By working together, we create synergies that amplify the impact of our efforts and contribute to regional stability and prosperity, and consequently better secure our own national security and stability. Mr. Speaker, sir, I acknowledge the foresight of the coalition government in producing a budget that also actualizes our beloved nation's commitment to the regional priorities outlined in the 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent. This will in turn enhance the faith of our development partners in the capacity of our beloved nation to deliver as the regional hub to take lead on the achievement of the SDGs in the Pacific. Mr. Speaker, sir, at the national level, the 2024-2025 budget reflects the government's commitment to a transforming change in rural and maritime development and disaster management. I must acknowledge, Mr. Speaker, sir, that this budget is more than a fiscal plan. It is a blueprint for building resilient communities, enhancing infrastructure, and promoting economic opportunities in our rural and maritime areas. Mr. Speaker, sir, in my capacity as the Assistant Minister for Rural and Maritime Development and Disaster Management, I would like to thank the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance and the coalition government for prioritising some areas that I would like to highlight. One is the allocation to the Ministry of $2 million for our community access road, footpaths and footbridges continues to help our rural communities' infrastructure development to improve connectivity and accessibility and ensure our contribution to SDG 9 on industry innovation infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, sir, assisting our communities in sectors such as agriculture, fisheries and small business to stimulate local economies and create sustainable livelihoods will be through the $1 million budget for Ministry's self-help program. Mr. Speaker, sir, these priorities are integral to our vision of a prosperous and resilient nation where every citizen can thrive. The Honourable Minister for Finance rightly stated that the 2024-2025 budget is centered around the vision of security, stability, and sustainability, focusing on improving the fundamentals of our economy. Mr. Speaker, sir, the increased investment to improve our health infrastructure, increased funding to reshape our education sector, decisive investment incentives to encourage investors and improve efficiency, and increased public-private partnership is noteworthy. The Ministry has been liaising with development partners such as the Pacific Center for Building, who are actively enlightening our communities and institutions with upskilling in conflict resolutions to improve government, UNDP to improve governance, UNDP through the GovForest initiative, and UNFPA through the exemplary support in the Northern Division are but a few of the partnerships that this coalition government have supported to date with a centered vision on improving livelihoods and empowering our people. Mr. Speaker, sir, indeed no man is an island, and the announcement that the government will continue to fund our district advisory councils proves just that. The government cannot work independently and needs the support and trust of the people of Fiji's holistic economic development. As alluded to by the Honourable Professor Iman Prasad, we must hear all views. This is the way for true nation building and inclusive development, to build consensus on sustainable progress and unity. Mr. Speaker, sir, the setting up of the pilot tourism SME fund for $15,000 will empower our rural communities to innovate their rural natural resources environment for job creation and income generation, to not only enable sustainable management of their natural resources, but that of their rural livelihood as well. Mr. Speaker, sir, the people in the rural areas very much appreciate the effort by the government, especially the Honourable Prime Minister and the Minister for Economy, for their support to the sugar industry, which are very much, the rural areas are very much dependent on, the people in the rural areas. I would like to thank the Permanent Secretary and the management of the Ministry of Rural and Maritime Development for the works undertaken this financial year, Mr. Speaker. Special acknowledgement to the 4 divisional commissioners for their active role in spearheading the development in the divisions through the Integrated Rural Development Framework. This year we received $3 million in our budget for our rural and outer island program, ROI. And of that allocation, Mr. Speaker, we managed to complete 22 projects. One of the projects of the roads that links the interior of Sangani from Nasasa to Nandongo, to Balogoni, Nathula, and Lakemba was undertaken through this budget provision. I only hope that we were in government for the last 16 years, we would have opened up all the areas that are still not in accessible budgets. I hope that this budget will continue to be given to the ministry, and we will continue to build more roads for people in our rural areas. In conclusion, sir, I would like to render my support, full support, to the national budget in the motion before the House. Honorable
Jovesa, for your contribution.